This problem goes much further than we first think, and it's little wonder because
When a cow's hoof heels are as high as this, it's not exactly a good sign, is it? Now I know this cow's lame because Kevin told me that she's extremely lame. Thanks, Kevin. No problem. But even if I didn't, when a cow's hoof is as high as this in the heel, it tells me straight away it's not overgrown in the heel area. Well, it kind of sort of is, but it hasn't actually grown excessively. It just hasn't worn as much. So the question that instantly should pop into your head is, why is this cow not putting weight on the heel part of her foot? It's because it's sore. So that tells me that she is lame in that area. After all that, I hope I'm right. Now usually we would take length off these cows' feet because length usually equates to height. But that's really only when the angle of this hoof is correct. This bit should be about 50 degrees or 48-ish. But our heels are way too high. So the actual length of her feet is completely correct, but the height in the heels is not. And that is something that I need to change. So as I grab the grinder here, I'm not going to touch the toes in any way. I'm just reducing the height of the heels to get it back to the angle that it should be. And I'm hoping and praying and actually starting to see now that I am unveiling the problem. Now that the bulk of the work with the grinder is done, we can start with the knife. So clearly there is a bit of an issue here, but the main problem is going to be here. This probably goes right into the core of her foot. But the first thing I'm going to do is completely ignore it, because I need to model out the soles. That's part of the routine part of hoof trimming, and it's something we always do before we tackle the problem. We do a small model on this outside or lateral claw, and a much bigger one on this interior or medial claw. Medial means towards the middle, as in towards the middle of the cow. You can see there actually we're getting a little bit thin, so we don't want to go any deeper than that there. Right, beautifully routinely trimmed. That's maybe a bit high. And very tough. So I know this bit is going to be really tough to cut with a knife, so I'm going to use the grinder to reduce as much as I can before using the knife for the more delicate bits. As I use the grinder here, you could obviously think that it's a really aggressive machine, and it definitely is, but it's also incredible how gentle you can be with a grinder. Just look at the tiny amounts of hoof horn I'm removing with the disc. Each rotation is removing fractions of millimeters, whereas the knife always removes around 0.2 or 0.3 of a millimeter, unless of course you want much more, which is exactly what you can and sometimes do require to do. Oh, it kind of stinks. It smells like stuffing. I'm telling you. People think I'm joking when I say that, but I'm not. I think this goes up much higher up into here. Use the tip of the knife. This is so hard because the feet just flop out of the way. I'm trying to use my thumb here to brace the foot. Yeah, this hole is travelling right up. This is called a white line defect. That's because the part where the sole horn meets the wall horn is called the white line. And this is a defect in that white line. Alba linea is what they call it in human anatomy. Alba linea, white line. Right, just need to wash this out and see how much further we need to go. Look how good he is. Look, Kevin, look. I never even asked him for it. I really like using the jet on that wash because when Craig's sitting close to the camera, it splashes off the hoof and onto his face, which is unintentional, but obviously a real bonus. Right, I'm afraid we need to use the grinder again. This is horrible and messy. These problems are incredibly difficult to fix. Right, if we come around this side, we'll get a much better view of the problem here, which we need to investigate before Kevin puts a block on, because I've not even asked him again, he's got a block in his hand. Can you please stop preempting things? You're going to end up needing a bloody pay rise. We're just going to make sure that this isn't a major problem, which I don't think it is, and it's not. It's coming to nothing. Cool. I'm just going to clean the edges up here and let Kevin in the glue.
These hoodies are actually still available. I think the one Kevin's wearing is an extra small, and it fits him beautifully.
It's not an extra small. These problems kind of project inwards into the sole of the cow's hoof at all different angles, which makes them incredibly difficult to trim out without any of the claret or red stuff appearing. You need to get rid of these holes, these intrusions into the cow's foot, but at the same time you need to make sure you don't do any more damage. This part here that's causing me the issue, because I don't want to go any further, but I know that if I don't remove more, then I'll just have superficially helped this cow. She will be more comfortable, but there's no way that she would heal. So this isn't bleeding, it's just grazed, obviously. It is open, but you can see there's nothing actually running out. Oh. Just gonna give this one, no, I was gonna say one final clean. I'm just gotta remove that piece too. That's better.
I'm actually really happy with that. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.
These problems are really difficult to cure, but as you can see here from the very final image of how we trimmed her, I'm actually really happy with it. This is a nice clean trim. These protrusions into the hoof capsule are extremely difficult to trim out without causing further damage. But also, as you can see, this area of our hoof is slightly open. That's where the iodine comes in, and we want as much of it on there as possible, which is why Kevin has soaked the hoof, but he's also soaked the salicylic acid in the iodine. I've forgotten the words.
Kevin soaking the foot and...
Oh yeah, because we want as much iodine in there as possible. And the wraps that we're using now are biodegradable, so we can actually leave them on the cow for a bit longer, which is really, really helping us to cure even more cows. And just like that, she is done and due to go back to her herd mates. We've been at this farm quite a lot in a few videos lately, but this is a very big farm with around 800 cows, and actually the lameness is really good now.
You wouldn't even really know she's lame now, would you? That's the result.